45-minute phone call. During this time, we will go over your account and settings, your chart of accounts, banking, banking and reports.
Okay.
And then of course any additional questions you may have. Now, and just to ask you a couple questions to see if I have additional relevant information for your company. Could you tell me a little bit more about your business and how long you've used QuickBooks for?
Just signed up last week, and it's a dental office. So we've been open for 2 years, and figure I'd just try to do this on my own.
We used QuickBooks in San Diego for 20 years.
But that was
With a bookkeeper.
Yeah, the bookkeeper did it for us, so we don't know much.
I see. I see. Okay. And do you have employees or
Yes.
do you do payroll?
Yes, different company. We're not interested in payroll.
Okay. And I asked because, you know, QuickBooks also has QuickBooks payroll. If you needed that, you know,
Okay.
as well, we have that service. So anyhow, to get started with our call, we will go live, meaning I will be able to see your QuickBooks screen, and on your end, you will be able to see an image camera with me on that screen and my mouse.
Okay.
I will show you, I can't click on anything, but I can highlight items for you to click on.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So go ahead and click on Control, Shift, and Enter all at the same time.
Control, Shift, Enter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Control, Shift, Enter. I did.
Alrighty, did it give you an access code generating a
No.
share access?
Do I click out of the additional information one, or?
I don't think you have to, but go ahead and if you want to, you can. And those are, by the way, additional shortcuts as well. They
Okay.
might be useful for you in the future
Okay.
if you want to use them.
You said Control, Alt.
Shift.
Oh, Control,
No.
Shift, and Enter. Okay, there it is. Yes.
Mhm.
Share and accept. Okay.
And what is the access code?
49631.
Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Alrighty, great. So we'll go ahead and get started with our call for today. And we will start off with your account and settings up at the upper right-hand corner.
Okay.
If you can minimize my image and move me to the bottom left, that would be great.
Okay. Oh, minimize.
Or maybe to the left. Sometimes it acts funny and it won't move down.
Yeah, it won't move down. It's to the left. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start here in accounting settings, and like I said, you probably have already gone through this information, but we do a brief overview of it as well.
Okay.
So if you can come here, it starts with your company information, and this,
Okay.
in this section, and the other question to you was also, are you going to be invoicing your clients, or is this like third-party invoicing, or are you going to be using QuickBooks to invoice this? I guess
No, cause I think we won't be using QuickBooks for invoicing.
Okay. And the reason I ask is because this page is relevant to invoicing. You simply, a lot of these items do appear on customer invoices, so you do want to make, and nonetheless, you do want to have this information
Okay.
as current or as correct as possible, okay?
Okay.
If you ever need to edit this information, you can click the pencils to the right to edit all
Okay.
this information or add a logo or, whatever it is that you need to change in here.
Okay.
Here in billing and subscriptions, this is another spot where you can find your company ID. In the event that you don't remember the shortcut we used initially, this is where you can find it. This is where you can edit your
Okay.
payment method for future in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you can upgrade, downgrade, cancel, or switch your payment method or to have annual billing on your subscription.
Okay.
Other products and services are also available here on this screen. Okay. And usage, basically the Simple Start plan, what you have, 1 billable user, 250 chart of accounts, and 40 tag groups, and we will go over your chart of accounts next. In sales, you said you wouldn't be using sales and invoicing. In the event that you did, this is where you would come to customize the fields and what you would want your invoices to say and do for you.
Okay.
Okay. Expenses will not apply to you, although you are able to track bills and expenses with this subscription. You won't have a bill management system like an accounts payable unless you were to upgrade to Essentials or Plus.
Okay, now, okay, we'll go over that later, okay?
In payments, this isn't, if you wanted to get somewhat like a merchant account with QuickBooks, it would be called QuickBooks Payments. You would be, in the event that you invoiced your clients, they would get a link to pay you directly via QuickBooks Payments, via ACH or credit card, of course. And that's where you would manage that account. And then here in advance, just a little more accounting information, what the first month of your fiscal year is, what accounting method you used. Okay, if you want to enable account numbers for your chart of accounts, you would do that here. And then down here, you can format your date, numbers, customer label, and typically I suggest these two be on to simply avoid duplicate journal or check numbers.
Okay.
Okay. And I think there's other customer labels. I don't know if you want to use any others, but then again, you're not going to be billing, but okay, and then you can close out this screen and we can go ahead and move on to your chart of accounts. You can either click done at the bottom right or the X at the bottom, at the top right.
I think I already did, yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't refreshed my screen, but could you refresh your screen just in case?
Sure.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, sometimes it acts up and it'll do that. So we'll move on to your chart of accounts, and that you'll find over here. And actually, one quick thing. Let's make a quick change right here in your icon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on.
Up at the upper right. And go ahead and switch this to accountant view. QuickBooks does have both accountant and business view. You can, it's a matter of preference. I typically prefer to work on accountant view, but if you like one versus the other, you can always switch back and forth.
Okay.
Okay, your chart of accounts are over here in accounting. Go ahead and click on that. And as you know, your chart, you can click here too. So your chart of accounts is a complete list of your company's accounts and balances, as I'm sure you know. It represents and organizes your company's assets, liabilities, income, and expenses, and you can pretty much tell how much money is coming in or out, or how much money you owe by simply looking at your chart of accounts, right?
Okay.
And do you understand what the chart of accounts are, or?
No.
No? So this is kind of like a filing cabinet.
Okay.
Okay, chart of accounts is equivalent to a big filing cabinet, and each of these accounts is a file folder per se. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So what you're doing essentially, you're gonna from your banking, you're gonna file your transactions, whether it's income or an expense,
Uh-huh.
into these different types of in these different folders, right, or accounts.
Right.
So in turn, what QuickBooks does, or your chart of accounts does, it adds and subtracts, and it also generates reports, kind of like your balance sheet, your profit and loss, depending on the type of account that you're using. You know, some of these, if you notice, these accounts are filed into assets.
Right.
Some are assets, and then you'll have liabilities, equity accounts,
Mm-hmm.
income, and expense accounts. And of course, you know, your profit and loss, for instance, it'll include all your income and expenses, while your balance sheet will be generated out of your asset accounts, liability, and equity accounts.
Okay.
Okay, so essentially this is where you are gonna organize your company, how you wanna organize your finances, and how detailed you wanna get into, how you, you know, how detailed you wanna get into your finances. You know, when, for instance, if you have a travel folder, do you wanna know how much of that travel was airfare, meals, and hotels? Or do you just care to lump it up in travel? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's essentially how this, how you would organize this, depending on how you want to do that. And that is what your chart of accounts is, okay?
Okay.
Right now, you have a very generic chart of accounts. You're able to delete or inactivate any account you don't want, as well as change the names or edit it. And then you can also create new accounts if you wanted to, okay? So, I don't think you've been in this section yet.
No, I basically didn't start anything until we talked to you first.
Okay, so here, say for instance, you wanted to delete multiple accounts, you know, because like I said, you may or may not need all these accounts, right?
Uh-huh.
And if you've had account, or QuickBooks before, or you've had your someone take care of your books before, maybe you have a list of chart of accounts that they've used, and maybe you can make it similar to what it used to be, you know?
Uh-huh.
Based on, if you don't have that, maybe you have profit and loss or balance sheet reports, and you can use those to create your new chart of accounts. So essentially, say, for instance, you wanted to delete one of these accounts, and we'll say we'll delete buildings for now, even though we'll bring it right back.
Okay.
So you're able to delete any account you want, right? But they're also temporary, like not permanently deleted. You're able to bring them back if you needed to.
Uh-huh.
You would make inactive.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you can click make inactive and then say yes. And essentially that's been deleted, so it's no longer here in your list. If you wanted to delete multiple accounts, you would click the little boxes here to the left, and then you would do a batch action and delete or inactivate multiple at one time.
Okay.
So to bring it back, or to look, so you can see how land looks as this, or building looks deleted, you come here to this little gear icon,
Okay.
and you're going to include your inactive accounts
Okay.
as part of this list.
Okay. So it'll show on there. Okay. And then it can make active again.
So, yeah, it's as simple as that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, got it right there. Okay.
Alrighty, so that's very easy to do. Creating new accounts is not very much more complicated than that. If you come here to new, we'll go ahead and create a test account so that you can see how this works. So essentially you have to create, first select the type of account that you're adding. Say
Okay.
we're going to create a new expense account, so you select expenses. And then you're going to save this account under, so you can choose to select that as cost of goods sold, as an additional expense account, whatever, right? And then you, so basically there, you're going to choose the detail type in that second drop down.
Okay.
And you can choose anyone for now.
Okay.
And then you are going to name your account right here.
Okay. I could just put
Yeah.
this dental lab.
So here is where you see your preview screen before you save it. Cost of goods sold is right here. And actually you put it in cost of goods -1, so it would be down here in this area.
Okay.
If you wanted to make a sub account for supplies and materials up at the top, then you would just make sure you select that category right here in this field. It's just a matter of, you know.
I see.
You see?
Yep.
It's that easy, just, and you have the preview screen, so before saving, you can make sure the blue highlighted account is what you need, where you need it, and, and if it's correct, then you can save it. And just like that, you're able to also create equity accounts, asset accounts, or even, any other account up here.
Oh, okay.
All right. Do you have any questions here so far?
No.
Okay. Well, you can cancel out of here.
Okay.
Do you have any questions in the chart of accounts for now?
I don't think so. So for, cause we have our dental system, so when it says like accounts receivable, should we just put in there, what our accounts receivable were for that month? And just do it like monthly, cause we plan on just doing it monthly.
I mean, it's totally up to you. I couldn't give you guidance as to how to do your accounting because that would, I would need
Sure.
more information about your business.
Uh-huh.
But as far as you entering your data, yeah, you can do it as however you want.
Okay, and usually
Unless-
for the accounts receivable, that's gonna be the gross, right?
Typically, yes,
Okay,
because your expenses,
right.
then you have your expenses and, And, well, then again, I don't know if you have an accountant currently, but they can also guide you further as far as, even setting up your chart of accounts if you want them to help you guide as to what you need in your account settings and
Okay.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you have any other questions here, or should we move
No,
to?
I think we're okay with that for right now.
Okay. Now, right now, I do see that you're not linked into any bank accounts right now.
No, yeah, I was gonna hook up our Wells Fargo to this, I guess.
Okay, let's go here to banking.
Uh huh. Because then I was looking
And
at
then-
when I was looking on here before, it looked. Yeah, never mind. Because I think this is maybe a different way. Because it says connect account. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's where you would go to
Mhm.
connect an account right now.
Okay. I can do that later.
Okay, well, and we can do it now if you want, as part of our call. Essentially, if you do have transactions in there, I will show you how to categorize them. Otherwise, we would have to go to a sample company to show you that.
Okay.
And most of this information, like when you enter your login and all that, I can't see it. It's all in little,
Oh,
I see
okay.
little dots.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, I don't see your login information at all.